I want to make a quick little video about Errol Spence and him potentially fighting Danny Garcia. Because there's been some reports that he might be fighting him later on this year, unless either him or somebody else, and Danny Garcia might fight Manny Pacquiao. But this fight is a very high possibility that it could happen because obviously both of these dudes are fighting in the PBC. They are under Al Heyman, so this could 110% happen. Now, prior to Errol Spence getting into a car accident, I would have said that this would have been a really 50-50 fight. And I still believe that, you know. I look at this fight as one of those fights that is going to be a fight if they do fight that people are not going to give credit because if Danny Garcia beats Errol Spence Jr., the Errol Spence Jr. Fans are going to say that Errol Spence was just in a car accident and he wasn't the same, and they're not going to give Danny Garcia credit. You know what I'm saying? I believe that's going to happen is if Danny Garcia beats Errol Spence or whoever beats Errol Spence, because Errol Spence has he has a lot of fans. Now, I myself am a fan of Errol Spence Jr. I think he's a really good fighter. I think he's a very entertaining fighter. The only thing I don't like about Errol Spence as a fighter is the fact that he seems to have a drinking problem. You know, this is a guy that nearly got himself killed in a car accident, a car crash last year because he was speeding and he lost control when he was heading home after leaving the club at like 3 o'clock in the morning, and he was intoxicated. He nearly got himself killed. And there's been several videos of him online, and you see that he's clearly like fucking wasted. He's clearly wasted. So that's one thing I never liked about Errol Spence is he's like I just don't think that's a professional look. Like if you're a boxer, you need to be 100% dedicated to boxing, not spending your weekends or like your off times um, drinking and doing stupid stuff and putting yourself on Instagram Live looking like you just finished drinking fucking 10 bottles of tequila or some shit. You know what I'm saying? So that's the only thing I don't like about him. But besides that, I think he's a really good fighter. I think he's a great inside fighter. And I think he has a tremendous heart. And I think he's going to be a guy who's going to be tough to beat because he's very determined as a fighter. But I don't think he's unbeatable because I saw him lose several rounds against Kell Brook. I also saw him in a really tough and competitive fight against Sean Porter last year. So I've never looked at Errol Spence as an unbeatable fighter. Some people look at him as the next Mayweather, but he's not the next Mayweather because he doesn't have the defense of Mayweather. He's more of a fighter, right? He's more of a guy that he's more willing to fight. So because he's more willing to fight in the pocket, he takes more damage than somebody like Mayweather ever did because Mayweather was always defensive first. Uh, Him fighting Danny Garcia, I think it's a really good fight because Danny Garcia is a tremendous fighter himself, and he also has a really good chin. And I never looked at Errol Spence as like a one punch knockout artist. I think he's more of a guy that breaks you down. And Danny Garcia is a guy who has a tremendous chin. So I don't see these guys getting knocked out. I see these guys going the distance. I see when they both fight, they're gonna go the distance because Errol Spence has a tremendous chin and Danny Garcia has a tremendous chin. Um, and I definitely see Errol Spence getting caught by one of Danny Garcia's hooks that he famously loves to throw. Um, but I'm looking forward to this fight, all right? And as you can see, the time's wasting, so I don't have much time left. But I think this is going to be a good fight. And I think it's a 50-50 fight. I don't look at this as like a foregone conclusion that Errol Spence is going to just win easily. I think Danny Garcia is a good fighter. And I think this is going to be a tough fight for him. And I wouldn't be shocked if he lost. But I also wouldn't be shocked if he won.